I showed kindness to a stranger and accidentally became the boss of everyone who betrayed me. Have you ever had someone steal your dreams and then watched karma serve them back on a silver platter? The betrayal of my ex-boyfriend Angelo and trusted coworker Christina is one I'll never forget. A year ago, I was a sous chef at an upscale restaurant, desperately clinging onto anyone's support to escape loneliness. I met Angelo when I was desperate, and he managed a competing restaurant nearby. He had this way of making everything sound like advice while actually being criticism, saying things that would make you second guess yourself. He would tell me, I just think you could do so much more if you had some ambition, you know? To make it worse, my head chef Christina constantly took credit for my signature dishes, and Angelo would say things like, see, she doesn't respect you. I don't know why you let someone treat you like garbage. I thought he was being supportive, only to find out it was the complete opposite. He destroyed me over what I thought was just another dinner date. Casually, he said, I can't do this anymore. You're going nowhere and I can't be with someone so unambitious. It hit me like physical blows. My fork dropped from my hand hitting the glass plate. Trembling, I tried explaining how much I sacrificed for my career, how I moved hundreds of miles away, and left everything in hopes of success. He didn't care. He gave me a cold look as he got up, as if I was way below him in every way possible. After that, work became my refuge. I worked late nights and 12-hour shifts to cope. 2 weeks later, 10 hours into my shift, Christina called me into her office with an intimidating stern look. I'm letting you go. Your attitude lately has been affecting the kitchen morale. You can leave your uniform on my desk. I stood defeated, angrily putting my apron and hat on her desk as she soullessly stared at me. A month later, my depression worsened when I saw the announcement in the local food magazine. Fusion and Fire, executive chef Christina Rivera, food consultant Angelo Martinez. My signature lamb dish with pomegranate glaze stared back at me from their menu. The dish I'd spent months perfecting, the one that made me feel like a real chef. It was stolen and served under someone else's name. Every intimate conversation with Angelo about my dreams, every vulnerable moment where I shared my creative process, had been reconnaissance for their betrayal. He hadn't been my boyfriend supporting my ambitions. He'd been a spy stealing my future. My rage was white hot at first, wanting to call and curse them both out, but I was raised better than that. I let karma run its course, and it did more than I could have ever imagined. Months later, I was working at a local diner for minimum wage. The smell of grease clung to my clothes, my dreams felt like jokes, and I questioned if I'd ever been any good at cooking in the first place. There's this elderly Latina woman, Mrs. Ruiz, who came in every Tuesday. She always sat alone, and something about her sadness resonated with my own brokenness. One Tuesday, she was crying quietly over her eggs. My heart broke for her. Here was someone else drowning in loneliness, and for the first time in months, I felt something other than my own pain. I approached her gently, and when she looked up with her tired but kind eyes, something inside me stirred back to life. That simple moment of human connection was like coming up for fresh air. Carmen Ruiz became my anchor in a world that had felt chaotic and cruel. Our Tuesday conversations became the highlight of my week. She'd tell me stories about her late husband Eduardo, and I'd share my own struggles. When she would bring me homemade tamales, it wasn't manipulation or agenda, it was pure kindness. Carmen's authentic care began healing wounds I didn't even know were still bleeding. When Carmen mentioned selling Eduardo's restaurants, my heart ached for her loss. But everything changed when she told me they owned half the successful Mexican restaurants in the city. Carmen wasn't just a lonely widow. She was sitting on a restaurant empire. She said, you have Eduardo's heart, you cook to make people happy, not to make yourself important. Would you be able to help me get back into my husband's business? Just when I thought starting at Ruiz Family Dining was a complete fresh start, Carmen said something that made my skin crawl and my blood run cold. We're acquiring a struggling restaurant next month. Fusion and Fire, poor things are drowning in debt. Mixed emotions rushed through my body. I revealed to her why I was really working at the diner. Her eyes flashed with protective anger. Don't worry, you aren't going to be working with them. You'll be their boss. And sometimes, the best revenge is success. Walking into the takeover meeting was surreal. Christina looked like a ghost when she saw me. What the hell are you doing here? Carmen reintroduced them to me as their executive chef. Angelo's voice barely whispered, but weren't you at the diner? As sweat began to drop from his forehead. After that day, they would go into what used to be Christina's office begging for forgiveness, admitting to their jealousy. They spilled their remorse any chance they could, praising me and my recipes as if it was blessed by angels. When Angelo asked me for advice one day, I smirked as I said, I just think you could do so much more if you had some ambition, you know?